Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. I don't know why I said it like it's a commercial. Coming up next, Northernlion plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus here on ABC Must Watch. C8HJ A2RG. A little bit of terrible damage, Robo Baby 2.0, Tammy's head. This isn't so bad, but we got obvious issues here. HP is a particular one of them, with Spirit Hearts only. Shouldn't even come close to walking into that. Damage is another one without a doubt. Jawbone doesn't do that much for us. I am willing to take that, and I'm happy I did, to be honest. Last run was good. I mean, it was Brimstone Guppy. Without being too macabre about it, where was I going with this? It's not really macabre. I shouldn't have left you hanging on that note. It makes it sound more menacing. I was trying not to make it too much about me, but what I was going to say was Isaac related, which is we haven't had like a super ridiculously overpowered Guppy run in a long time. I feel like the Guppy transformation's been harder to come by, probably as I've emphasized deals with the devil less and deals with the angel more. And I think our performance speaks for itself, unfortunately, when it comes to looking at that as a viable strategy. Speaking of macabre, did you guys see that FX has a show based on the excellent Taika Waititi movie, What We Do in the Shadows? Great movie. I will say, it's been CJ'd a little bit. You know what a CJ is, if you go to the NLSS CJ. Good movie. People online can't shut up about it. Has a tendency to create a situation in which people go, well, it can't be that good, and then when they watch it, they go, I mean, it was all right, but it didn't change my life. Anyway, you get the idea. It's coming to FX. Stars two actors. Well, it stars one actor and features another that I have a story about. One of them is Matt Berry. He's a very famous British actor. I don't really have a story about Matt Berry at all. But one of my friends when I worked in Korea recommended this, at the time, incredibly niche television program called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. And I watched the show. It's Matt Berry in a double role. Wait a minute, is Matt Berry also the writer of Garth Marenghi? Don't worry about it too much. But basically, it's Matt Berry and Richard Ayoade, and they're making a television program that's a supernatural hospital thriller. Kind of like Dr. House meets the X-Files, but also with a lot of sultry undertones that are obviously overtones. It's a great show. It has now become substantially more popular. I don't know why I can't speak today. Popular. Don't shoot the messenger here. I kind of don't want to take Mega, just because I like Tammy's head that much. Mega's just like, bleh, I win. Okay, that's cool. Maybe when we're on win 80, I'll do that. But on win 2, let me have some chance for some cool Tammy's head synergies, alright? I mean, it's not like we're hurting for much on this run. It's pretty good. No, but I think over time, you know, it's one of those things that maybe it's not that popular in the moment, but it becomes more influential as time goes on because the people that it influenced get into positions of influence themselves and can be like, you know, I watched a little Garth Marenghi's Dark Place growing up, you know? Anyway, he was in that show. Full stop. That's the end. It's very famous, deliberately terrible line read. One of the all-time greats. So what happened with you and this Renwick customer? Anyway. Then there was another guy in the trailer that I saw for What We Do in the Shadows, and I was like, I recognize that guy. He's a bald guy, American, and I know this because I looked him up on Wikipedia after the fact. But I was like, where do I know this guy from? Where do I know this guy from? And I realized that he's a comedian and also prankster that I know as Kenny Strauss, the yo-yo guy. I don't know. This is from a little bit of an ancient era of viral video. You know, you might have to be as long in the tooth as I am to remember this, but there was a series of videos, a rash of pranks across the Midwest. I think it was in St. Louis, where this comedian tricked news stations into thinking he was a champion yo-yo and so they'd have him on, and they'd give him an interview, and he would spin him a yarn about, you know, like, oh, the yo-yo championships last year in, you know, Ulaanbaatar or something like that. And then they'd be like, all right, K. Strauss, the yo-yo guy, he's giving his presentation and demonstration right now. And he was just terrible at the yo-yo. And then, you know, he'd like hit himself in the face with it, and the newscasters would get all awkward. It was a good thing. Anyway, he's in the show. If you haven't seen K. Strauss, the yo-yo guy, watching it with context would maybe do you favors. Hey there, up in the sky, it's K. Strauss, the yo-yo guy. And indeed, anyway, it's not quite on Weber Cook's levels, but you know, it's a good. Anytime the news stations get pranked, you know, I love news bloopers. What can I say? I'm an edgelord. No, it's just news bloopers are great because it's the most routine television. I'm not saying boring. I'm just saying routine. So anything that happens that spices it up, it's a dream come true. Hey, if making bloopers makes you watch the news, you should make the whole news out of bloopers. You ever think about that? And boom goes the dynamite. It doesn't really make any sense, nor would it really serve as a public service, I suppose. Regardless, where am I going with this? I don't remember. Show looks good. That was just my jumping off point for the conversation here. I don't really watch much television, only when it's on Netflix. I've been watching more because, you know, I've been working out, and, you know, when I first started working out, I tweeted, you know, I did part of a relatively easy workout, and then I did a set of squats, and I was like, I'm good. And then I did a second set of squats, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up in the bathroom. And I went and kind of dry heaved for a while. Well, we've broached that level of fitness long ago. I've reached the point where, you know, the weights are cool, but I'm whipping through them. You know, I'm whipping through them fast. So I've added a little cardio in. But here's the thing. It's cold and wet, and there's a bunch of snow on the ground. I don't want to go do cardio outside in this kind of weather. So I've been, you know, inside on an exercise bike, and that is boring. It sucks. It's horrible. I mean, it's not horrible. Like, it's not like you're, you know, getting waterboarded, but it's just, it's drudge, you know? It's drudgery over and over. So I've been watching a little bit more Netflix there. I've been watching an Australian television program called Court Justice. No offense meant to my noble Australian fans. For whatever reason, Canada gets quite a lot of what I would describe as trashy Australian reality TV. And that's not meant as an insult to Australians or Australian television. Canada has trashy reality television programs. There's a show called Married at First Sight, where, and it just blows my mind to this day, the people that were on this show were my age or older. It's only a few years old, the show at this point. But people that, like, I can't believe, I don't know why I gave him an Australian accent. Actually, it might be an American show, but I think it was for a Canadian network. But I could be wrong. You know, they'd be like, I'm 26 and I haven't met somebody yet. And the show was like, well, what if we gave you like a personality test, and then our expert matchmakers, I'm making a motion with my hand right now. When I say expert matchmakers, just know I'm raising one eyebrow and I'm making a motion with my hand that would get you fined by any professional sports organization that insinuates a certain type of piston-esque maneuver is taking place. The expert matchmakers hook you up with somebody. Here's the catch. You got to get married. Why? 'Cause it's TV, baby. It gets the people going. And inevitably, you know, there would always be like one couple that was kind of lovey-dovey, and they got it to work, and they were like, yeah, we got our problems, but what do we expect, you know? We married somebody we've never met. Never been married before, for one, but then on top of that, I married a stranger. You know, there's a reason they don't really do that, you know, at least in North America. You know, it tends to be a long courtship process. Kate and I got married like 2 years after we dated. After we started dating, I should say. And even then, people are like, wow, that's fast. And you know what? It is. But it's not at first sight. That would be a much less intriguing television program, I think. If the show was called Married After 2 Years of Dating, the show would be called, you know, I Know 7 People Like That in Real Life. It does imply I know somebody but not their spouse, which doesn't really make any sense. But, you know, I just kind of picked the number off the top of my head. Anyway, and then so like one of the couples was like, yeah, sometimes we fight, but like, you know, we're trying. And then the other 2 couples were just complete trash fires. You know, they'd have situations where, you know, the woman would be over at the husband's house for the first time ever, you know, despite them having been married for a while. And, you know, like a day. And, aka 100% of their time together. And, she'd be like, can you give me some almond milk? And he's like, oh, I don't drink almond milk. What the frick? It's like I married a stranger. It's kind of, that's the point, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm watching this show. It's called Court Justice. At the end of the show of Married at First Sight, by the way, they choose whether they should stay married or not. And like every single season I watched, everyone's like, nah, dude. Are you crazy? The show is basically like a Christmas Carol. It's like you see the ghost of spouse future, and you go, geez, I'm gonna exercise my own autonomy in this situation. It's a very selfish show. I'm sure the show pays for everything, but like and I'm being judgmental here, I'll admit for sure, but it's deserved because I hate the show. But like they would have like weddings for the bride and the groom, which is commonplace, but they would get like all the friends and family to show up, and I was just like, dude, it's like they'd interview the parents, and I'm like, don't put your sweet mother through this, dude. I get that it's just like, it'll be a laugh, but like your mom, you know, she's probably like dreamed of the day she was gonna see her son get married to the love of his life, and you know you're like, hey, the Lifetime Network will pay to fly you out to Savannah, Georgia. I'm marrying a complete stranger on a television program with literally a 0% success rate. All right, honey, I'll take time off work for that. This is exactly as I imagined it. Like, don't do that to her. She's a nice lady. Anyway, we're watching Court Justice. I don't really have much to say, except I wish that it's not actually really a trashy reality show. It's like literally fly on the wall courtroom stuff for what I would describe as like low stakes cases in Australian court. It's like border security, which had to be discontinued due to a human rights violation in Canada, which makes sense. You know, they would catch people, you know, after they landed at major Canadian airports, and they're going through like immigration, and be like, so what are you doing here? And they're like, I'm trying to move to your country. And they're, you know, casting suspicion on them as if they're like a drug trafficker. It was a violation of privacy, but I also watched every episode twice. I'm sticking with Tammy's head, dude. But I really want this deal with the devil. Let me open the door. It's getting a little hot in here. I'm watching Court Justice, and it's, you know, pretty much exclusively, you know, possession of a drug, drunk driving, which in Australia they hilariously call drink driving. See, in North America we call it drunk driving because it's when you drive when you're drunk. In Australia, I guess it's a crime to imbibe your own vehicle through a straw. I'm mostly just being a jerk, and I apologize. It's a good show. I think it gives a good lesson, you know? That if you run afoul of the law, one of these magistrates has your entire life in their hands, and they could crush it like a peanut if they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And also there's precedent in the law for the crushing like a peanut. Anyway. There's no greater anecdote, by the way. That's the end of it. I can't believe it. Don't take this the wrong way. It's a good run. I do find myself slightly surprised that I think we've been to every item room. We probably haven't been to every shop, but money was not necessarily in great supply. And we're still a little bit statistically kind of not crushing it right now. Let me in. Thank you. No, I don't want little baggy. I was just going to say, because I have a guppy item, I'm absolutely willing to take this guppy item right here. And 9 lives is good to begin with. We're going to come out of this one with a W. I mean, that's pretty much set in stone. This one was not guaranteed from the start. You know, we started way below average in terms of our damage at least, but we had some good things potentially going for us. It feels good. I'm excited. You know, I've been talking about it for a bit. You know, more variety on YouTube. Tomorrow morning. And I don't wake up early for a lot of things. I mean, my sleep schedule's in a better place, as mentioned many times. Thank you for your concern. However, you know, I usually don't start recording until maybe like, I don't know, 10 at the earliest. But I'm waking up even earlier than that to do a little multiplayer. And I'm going to reveal some more details because the video's probably gone up already. Me, Mathis, and Dan. Going to be playing... I want... My vision for the series, and we're going to open with, I'm not sure, either Tarkov or a little bit of Apex Legends. Don't vote, because again, it's already been decided. I have a sneaking suspicion it'll probably be Apex Legends. Not just because it's new hotness, but because it's free, easy for everyone to get. And the audience, you know, is there. And we can play Tarkov at any time, so, you know, why not play Apex Legends while the iron's hot, and then slot in Tarkov after that. But anyway... I know I keep hitting Dan with the Resident Sleeper Tarkovs, but I was like, you know, given an avenue to a safe space to explore that game with someone who knows it, and then Mathis as well, that'd be cool. So look for that if it hasn't already happened. And my vision for it, you know, it's really, for me, it's a series that's kind of, or it's an opportunity that's kind of born out of the fact that, you know, we've been having all these games come out that are not necessarily like, there's a weird, like, gap. You know, there's games that come out, we play them on the NLSS once and then never again, but people are like, hey, you should play that more. And I'm like, yeah, but it isn't really banter-rich, or like it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't fit the NLSS niche, and that's really like, that and Team Unity are like the only spaces that I have for that kind of stuff. So it's really kind of like it's a place for one or more different things. You know, games that, for whatever reason, probably wouldn't be a good fit on the NLSS, but are multiplayer-driven, i.e. Escape from Tarkov, or... you know, stuff that would be good to play more than once, or stuff that we just can't seem to get a YouTube collaboration going for otherwise. Like, there's been some multiplayer horror games that have come out recently that I think they would be interesting to check out, but we haven't had a space to do so. So I'm looking forward to that. Why Mathis and Dan? Why 3 people? I'll give you the honest to goodness methodology. I'm not against inviting other people to the thing, but like to collaborate on it. But, you know, out of our circle, really the only ones that consistently upload new content onto YouTube. And that's not meant as a shot to anybody else in the group. You know, we everybody knows, you know, the pros and the cons of YouTube, basically, and the pros and cons of Twitch. Like, for all the pros of Twitch, and there's a ton, there are still cons. Like on YouTube, I'll always talk about the fact that if you have a sustainable channel to some extent, you're able to take time off, and I think that's worth a lot. Whereas on Twitch, you know, every day that you don't go live is like you're hitting the side of your career with a hammer, you know, just a little bit, and then you come back and you can smooth out the dents, but still, mentally it's a different thing. But you know, I feel weird asking people who are full-time on Twitch, even if they would do it, I feel kind of selfish asking them, like, hey, do you want to do this thing that... I think I mentioned this in an earlier episode, but this thing that will probably, you know, you'll get no benefit out of, and it'll suck up a lot of your time, and then, I don't know, maybe somebody in the comments is going to be a jerk to you, and then, you know, I'll make some money off of it, but you might not even ever upload the episode. Like, it makes you feel like, you know... kind of selfish for asking. So, you know, the 3 of us still uploading regular YouTube content is a natural fit. But of course, you know, I'd love to have other people on, you know, whenever appropriate. So look for that. I don't know why I ended on like a sour note. Also, I like Dan and Mathis, and in particular, Dan and I, you know, we interact a lot. I think we got a good arrangement in the sense that, you know, Dan, I think the Dan and me dynamic is that he is way more... Well, we push the boundary in different regards. Like, I'm willing to get a lot more controversial with the things that I say than Dan is, and a lot more vulgar for sure. Which I think it makes him a little uncomfortable, and that's part of the entertainment. And then he, you know, he likes to push people's buttons as well. You know, Dan's a little bit of a troll, obviously, and I think pretends to be a little bit more inept than he is in some situations to get people to offer up more information than they would otherwise feel content to do. And I personally feel like I'm willing to call him out on that, which makes for good entertainment. But I'm also not afraid to, like, answer his questions in a way that feeds him a little. Most of the time. Anyway. And then on top of that, again, Mathis, like, we just found it hard to find the time to work together. So I'm excited. I'm also very unexcited because I appear to be a shoo-in to die on this floor. And that sucks real bad. Because I thought we were pretty much in the clear. And apparently that is not the case. Let me out of this terrible room. You... make me feel like a natural woman. Excuse me, the door reopened? How am I supposed to make it through this room, Sway? I'll tell you how I'm supposed to make it through this room. You go here, you place a bomb down. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Nah, fight him corner by corner. That's the ticket. And then blow this up just in case. But you know, we're not gonna go back through that room. What do we care? As long as we don't die on this room. That would be tragic. We still should not lose this run, even though it looks bad right now. You know, 9 lives is just such a absolutely powerful defensive item. I think we're... Pardon me, sir? I think we're relatively in the clear, but I will say, you know, if you're having trouble on rooms, you know, at this level, that's a really, really bad sign. We're also on Utero 2 after 19 minutes. It's a little bit of a rush job. Slow your roll a little bit here. You know, why are you going so fast? Why are you always flying? Flying. My God. Stop freaking flying. Okay, so I think I've waited too long to justify the use of the magician, so... I'm trying to get close enough to use pointy rib. Dude, thank God. The jawbone has been an incredible surrogate for, like, shielded tears here. We didn't get a deal with the devil, and to be honest with you, we didn't deserve one, but it does hurt a little bit. I thought maybe the game would take some mercy on us and we'd beat the odds. Yo, anytime you get a damage upgrade, it's a good day in the neighborhood. Surprisingly tricky. I don't want to have this be like your... And I say this every time, and it happens. It happens often. But I don't want this to be like, you know... Hey, I lost one recently. Let's win 2 and then lose another one. You know, that's not becoming of an Isaac professional such as myself. I don't want that to be my legacy. The guy who can win 20 runs, but every time he loses, he's guaranteed to lose soon after that. That's not where I want myself to be. So, you know, the only way to get through that is to recognize, you know, what's causing those issues in the first place and then actively fight back against it. I had a sneaking suspicion we were going to have to go this way. Turns out I was very wrong. What did I use the magician? Turns out the magician is not that good. What went through my head, though, was use Hagalaz on that room. And then I thought to myself, as the magician was being used, why? What do I care about using the magician, or using the Hagalaz rune on that room for? Just walk right into him. Why don't you? You're gonna get some money? Seems not that good. So we're actually, we're floundering a little. Very much on the lookout for tinted rocks. A single tinted rock could save us, you know, a life. Hopefully more. Hate this room. We got 13 bombs. I'm gonna take a little detour. You know, if we don't have to do a room that could cut some lives, you know, now is probably the right time to start investigating that new strategy. It still doesn't have to be this way, but it will probably be this way. And you know as well as I do, you know, we probably like 1 in every 20 Isaac runs finds itself in this exact same situation or something very similar. The way that you get yourself out of this bucket of syrup is very simple. You live until you son of a gun. Every wrong direction. You live until you get to the chest. And then on the chest, you know, Yera helps out a ton, of course, for us, thankfully. But on the chest, you basically just rely on the items you get from your starting room to do what they, you know, what needs to be done. So I think there's hope at the very least. Extremely annoyed by the dead-end politics we got ourselves mired in here. Well, we got real lucky there. You know things are getting serious when I'm actually, like, trying to use Robo Baby 2.0. Tends to be a suboptimal sign of the health of the overall run, but here we are. And you know, it's still going. Someone asks you how it's going. On this run, it's going. Oh, I thought you were dead, my man. I'm pretty tempted to go to the cursed room, but we need to find HP. Prior to finding HP, the cursed room will just literally kill us. Even like a single spirit heart, I would probably invest it in going to the cursed room. Just for the chance to get other spirit hearts, a teleportation to a deal with the devil that could give us something meaningful. Or just a guppy item directly. You know, we got good damage, so I'm not afraid to go toe-to-toe with this guy, but... yeah. That one, I mean, I gotta take ownership, but I also do chalk it up a little bit to our speed. Second secret room. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a batwing in there. Not sensible at all. So I'm kind of like, you know, the shot speed from Isaac here is a little intimidating in this position. But if we can make sure whenever possible that Jawbone is firing out directly in front of us, is very, very nice. Because it blocks shots. It's really, at this point, it's the shots that that break. Those are the ones I'm concerned with. And our low speed, relatively low speed, I should say. Yo, go, go, go. Oh! It just makes it tough to maneuver the way we would normally want to maneuver on a fight like this, you know? So I'm trying to accelerate. You know, I mean, once you get to the point where, you know, he's doing those beams, all you gotta do, really what killed us was not the beam so much as the angel statue presenting a threat that didn't allow us to get to where we needed to go. Because of that, we had to respect his position, and, dude, we may lose this one on the cathedral, which is an extreme embarrassment for yours truly. Just terrible form lately. But you go through these fits and these spurts. At least I got the court justice anecdote out there. Suppose you just gotta recognize not every day can be a winner in Isaac. Still trying. Because, you know, Yera on the chest can take you from dereliction to greatness. That beautiful shot, what can I say? things went terribly wrong. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode in spite of my ineptitude. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See you.